Hello, my name is Gochnour. I'm here at the Mark Adams School of Woodworking. This week, students and myself are building a shaker sewing table. We're actually having the pleasure of working exclusively by hand. So dovetails, all that we're doing with hand tools. We got the drawers done the first couple days. The drawers slide on battens on the underside of the top here. Got the runners that are adhered to the drawer sides. The drawers actually go all the way through. These tables originally were used by two individuals that would sit on either side of the table, so that the drawer was accessible from both sides. What we've been doing today and a little bit yesterday is working on the column and the feet. So the column was turned in advance before we got here, but we're going to put the feet into the column using a sliding dovetail. So the first thing we did was take a board, cut the end of it off, and using a dovetail plane, we created a dovetail on the end of each leg. After that was done, we cut these notches. We cut this off, cut this off. We had drawn the pattern on there. And those are just to assist in fitting the leg into the dovetail into the socket. You kind of can't be working on these odd angles, and so we've kind of squared it off. Once the dovetail's cut, the pattern's on there, you've done this, it's time to create the socket for the tail to slide inside. We use some dividers and techniques to partition the cylinder into thirds, and then we lay out where the leg is going to go. I actually create a flat landing, so rather than fitting the leg to a cylinder, I take the area where the leg will intersect and create a flat spot. Once the flat has been created, we lay out the dovetail. We use the tail itself, positioned where it's going to go, and scribe in that location with a knife. We then use this aluminum angle and a knife and extend the dovetail down the side of the column. Once that's done, we just need to remove all of the material within the layout lines. That's done by, first of all, using a brace and bit and drilling a couple holes at the far end. Those holes will get rid of most of the material, and then we use chisels to create a mortise. And that mortise actually has bevel sides that are the same as the tail. Once we have the mortise, I don't have one handy here. Let me see if I can dig one out. We actually use a saw, starting at this end, following the line back, and cutting as close as we can to here without hitting the column. Then we can straighten the saw out. Most of it's cut. We've got the material removed by the mortise, and we can go back and forth and bring that cut all the way down on both sides. I also make a saw cut right down the middle so that it makes it easier to remove the waste with a chisel. So once the saw cuts are done, it's a function of a mallet and a chisel to bust out most of it, and then pairing the sides and the bottom to create a good fit. Let's see if I can find my piece here. Oh, right here. All right, so here's the one that after we fit this in, we shape it. I should point out here that this dovetail actually has pencil on it, and that's because as we do the fitting, we put some lead, and as it goes in, it will leave lead on the tight spots, and then we take it out and we address the tight spots and we push it in until we're able to get it all the way in. So once we fit the tail to the socket, we will shape the leg. That is actually just done with a coping saw and a coarse blade. Just starting on one end, sawing across, coming back this way, and getting rid of most of the excess material. From there, it's just a series of spoke shaves. On the concave section, I use a shave with a round bottom. It's able to kind of get down and follow the concavity of that arc. On the other side, I'll use the round bottom shave to get, again, here in the concave area, and a flat bottom shave to do the convex areas. Once that's done, I put a crown on the top, a little bit of a radius on the top edge here. I basically just do that with the shaves, and at the very end I'll use this concave shave to just give a nice refined crown. And so on this foot, it's been shaped with the spoke shaves, crowned using the flat and the round, and then also at the very end the crowning shave. It gives no sanding or anything on that, just straight off the shaves. At that point, you've got the joinery done, you've got the shaping done, the joint goes together. I need a hammer. After the gluing's done, I'll go in here and blend the foot into the column with some files. Fun stuff. Come join us here at Mark Adams one of these days.